Hello, I'm Marisela Keleton with the news at 6. In this edition, Sinai announces dates for national election, act now on foreign login companies, and Olam shares experience. The Electoral Commission on Friday 18th announced dates for the 2022 national general elections. Commissioner Simon Sinai made several significant announcements. For the election management body in the country, the PNG Electoral Commission announced dates for the 2022 national general elections on Friday 18. Commissioner Simon Sinai made several significant announcements. Among this, the appointment of the National Broadcasting Corporation (PNG) as the official broadcaster of the 2022 national general elections. Commissioner Sinai also announced that issue of writs will take place on Thursday, 28 April. Nomination of candidates will close at 4 p.m. on Thursday, 5th May. Polling will commence on Saturday, 18th June, in compliance with the law, only because polling will not take place on the weekends. Polling will end on Wednesday, 8 July, and counting will then proceed with the return of writs fixed for Friday, 29 July.
We are emphasizing more into women participation and social inclusion. This election is about women inclusion and social inclusion. People take ownership and they take part in verifying the role, confirming the role, and do cleansing on the role and fix the role.
The commissioner also stated that the election management body is considering having CCTVs in the counting centers.
Government caucus, they've raised concern about the counting center. The people have marked up the counting process, so we're trying to look at means and ways to manage that environment. The preparable system now available to us today on the market is the CCTV. So we are plotting around to get that on board. So if possible, we are going to have CCTV in certain of those areas that are more demanded. Not necessarily everywhere, but some certain areas.
Commissioner Sinai assures that PNG Electoral Commission is prepared to manage the 2022 national general elections in cooperation together with all other key agencies. Commissioner for the PNG Electoral Commission has made a stern call for returning officers to be left alone. Commissioner Sinai said names of returning officers and assistant returning officers will be released in March before the issue of writs in April. Commissioner for the Papua New Guinea Electoral Commission, Simon Sinai, in a press conference on Friday 18, called for returning officers and assistant returning officers to be left alone. Commissioner Sinai said his decision to hold back on announcing the names earlier was to avoid manipulation and influence that would negatively affect the outcome of election operations.
Let me and my team do the work, and you stay out there and receive the benefits. Let's know and be partners, but do it correctly. Let's do it correctly. That is the call.
The commissioner says it is important that people recognize the importance of the election process, and it is the responsibility of the election management body to ensure that happens. He emphasized election management is the business of the PNG Electoral Commission, and they will see to it that results are delivered.
Please, I don't want influence. That is why I'm holding back. When I appoint, that is it. That will be the final, and no one is going to ask me to change, and I'm not going to change it.
In addition, Commissioner Sinai stated that there will be no dispute in counting centers as this would disrupt the counting process.
There will be no disputes in the counting center. Don't bring disputed boxes to the counting center. It's no. If you bring the box to the counting center, we are going to count. Your dispute will only be wasting our time to return the writs, or never ever come and dispute anything in the counting center. That's the announcement I am taking as a commissioner here.
The people of Konoagi local level government in Namatanai, New Island province will benefit from a new aid post built at a cost of 18,000 kina. Dr. Jared Otkorofi, who headed the project, said the health service was essential because it would allow for quick intervention when it comes to mothers giving birth and accidents in the area. He added the aid post got little support from the PHA, where he urged more support, especially rural areas in the province. New Island PHA CEO Dr. Joachim Taulo, noting the issue, said the government had just released operational funds for the PHA, where it will be shared with the smaller aid post, including the Kapsipau aid post. This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break. Welcome back. Prime Minister James Marape has commended outgoing PNG Defence Force Commander, retired Major General Gilbert Toropo, for his distinguished service to the country. Marape made the remarks on Friday, February 18, at the official handover takeover parade at Murray Barracks in Port Moresby, where former CDF Toropo passed on the sword to new PNGDF Commander, Major General Mark Goina. The Prime Minister called on Major General Mark Goina to serve with distinction, adding that he will lead the force into PNG's Golden Jubilee, where the country will celebrate the vibrancy of our democracy. Pierre Marape said the government will give its full support to the PNGDF for the next 4 years. Community advocacy group Act Now PNG says claims by the government that it has stopped issuing export license to foreign-owned logging companies are not true, as there is no evidence to prove that claim. Act Now campaign manager Eddie Tanago says there are 16 new foreign-operated log export operations that have started up since 2020. He said this is according to the government's own log export data.
Advocacy group Act Now PNG says according to the government's export data, 16 new foreign log exports started in 2020. Campaign manager Eddie Tanago says this contradicts the Prime Minister's claims that under his government, only log export licenses were given to locally owned business in 2020. Act Now also says over half of the new foreign-owned log export operations have been licensed as supposed to agriculture projects, which have previously been found to be riddled with corruption. According to government figures, the new foreign-owned logging operations that have commenced since 2020 were responsible for over 20% of all unprocessed log exports in 2021. The new export logging operations are spread across 7 different provinces, with 5 in West Sepik, 4 in West New Britain, 2 each in East New Britain and Central Province, and 1 each in Oro, New Island and Western Provinces. Act Now says while it fully supports the government's policy to stop all unprocessed log exports by 2025 in favor of 100% downstream processing, the facts show that the PNG Forest Authority is failing to implement the government's policy. Act Now says that the PNG FA should be abolished and a new government institution set up under a new Forestry Act. Jumaima Sugba, TV1 News.
The Papua New Guinea Center for Judicial Excellence recently conducted an awareness on access to justice to 17 court officials on Yule Island, Kairuku District of Central Province. The awareness was to help ordinary people in the community have an understanding of their constitutional rights and freedoms and on how to access justice through the courts. PNG CJE Executive Director Dr. John Kerry was the lead facilitator who spoke on the Constitution, the different kinds of rights, how to responsibly enforce those rights through the courts, the separation of powers through the 3 arms of government, and the jurisdiction of the village courts. Positive feedback was received from the participants who requested the PNG CJE team to conduct more programs for their communities. The program was funded under the New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. More stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. PNG International and Melbourne Storm's 2021 Dali M Centre of the Year Award winner Justin Olam is using his personal NRL experience to challenge young aspiring PNG Rugby League players. Although he had passion for the game growing up in the village, Olam only made his first breakthrough playing at the University Rugby League competition while studying at the University of Technology in Lae.
Having the right mindset, a good attitude and hard work is key to realize your rugby league dreams, said PNG International and Melbourne Storm Gun Centre Justin Olam. The 2021 Daily M Centre of the Year was speaking on Friday night at the Stanley Hotel, Port Moresby, after he was officially announced brand ambassador for PHA. He reminded young aspiring footballers that the process to get to NRL level is long and demanding that takes blood, sweat and tears. There's no shortcut to it, he added. Olam was able to share some of his personal experiences and challenges in his amazing rugby league journey.
I went down to Melbourne, to be honest, the first couple of weeks, I could hardly understand the Aussie accent and the slangs that comes with it. But sometimes I would stay in the meeting room, pretending that I understood the things. But I honestly didn't understand anything at all. But I would stay back and then watch the clips and whatever they're trying to say. I keep watching the clips over and over, so I make sure I understand them before I go home.
Olam also shared some lighter moments about the cultural difference.
The difference was, in PNG we live with each other and we are all family and we depend on each other, but down there it's like you're living, by yourself on your own, and then you pay your own bills, you look after yourself, and then if you run out of money or stuff like that, you're on your own. So, it taught me to, learn how to save up and look after myself.
Olam left for Melbourne today to rejoin the Storm's pre-season training camp in preparation for the upcoming 2022 NRL season, which kicks off on the weekend of March 10, 11, 12 and 13. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
PNG's Melbourne Stars centre Justin Olam was back in the country last week for the first time since winning his first NRL Grand Final with the Melbourne Storm in 2020. The club granted 2021 NRL Dally M Centre of the Year a compassionate leave to attend the funeral of a family member back in his home village. After his family obligations, Olam had a number of engagements and meetings with his brand ambassador organisations in Port Moresby as courtesy before flying back to Melbourne today. As PHA brand ambassador, Olam met with the company management and staff in a small but significant meet and greet in Port Moresby last night.
I think young athletes or even students going out from the country to study abroad overseas should understand is you can't respect people too much, because I think Papua New Guinea people, we're full of respect and we respect other people too much, and sometimes when you do that, they see you as being weak. They mistook you for being a weak person. So I think that was one of the things that helped me as well, and I was struggling at first, trying to crack Melbourne Storm, because I respect the senior players too much. I think some of them, took advantage of this and they mistook it and they thought I was weak, and so as soon as I changed my mindset and when it's time to train and play, it's time to train and play, and outside after when we go out, it's time to have fun and respect each other and stuff like this. So I think this is one thing we all should know.
Week 1 of the NGCB's Southern Super League Elimination Finals was staged yesterday at the Moresby South Stadium, Calgary, that saw Funeral Home Llamas and Central Dabari's development advancing to the week's to next week's preliminary. Laumas proved too strong for Gulf ISO Development, beating them 16 points to 6, while the Barris Academy escaped with 16-12 victory over a fast, flamboyant Buria Reds outfit after they were forced into a 12-all draw in a regular time. FH Laumas will now meet Port Moresby Vipers Academy, while the Barris Development take on Moresby South Black next Saturday, 26th of February, to decide the two grand finalists for the Southern Super League inaugural season that will be staged on March 5th. The Ahioma Cricket Association in Milne Bay Province recently launched a junior cricket competition. Present at the launch was under-19 Garamut's team member and only Milne Bay representative all-rounder Katelanaki Singhi. Returning under-19 PNG Garamut's team member and only Milne Bay representative all-rounder Katelaniki Singhi has inspired his home cricket association, the Ahioma Cricket Association, to launch a junior cricket competition. Singhi recently returned to an emotional welcome by his family and friends at his Tulelehihi hamlet at Ahioma village near Alotau in Milne Bay Province. Singhi was cheered onto the Lelehoha Primary School oval by the school students dressed in their BSP Junior Cricket t-shirts that formed a guard of honor at the launching of the junior cricket competition. The lanky, lean-looking cricketer dressed in his PNG Garamut's team t-shirt to share his experiences over the past 3 months, training and playing with great maturity and confidence beyond his teenage years. Singhi told the aspiring junior cricketers at the launch to be disciplined both on and off the cricket pitch to reach the international representative level. In launching the junior competition, ACA President Lebasi Tarua thanked the many ACA supporters, friends and organizations that have contributed cash and kind to enable the association to be organized and implement the junior competition. Support include the Australian government and international cricketing partners with the recent announcement to develop cricket in the country and a cricket kit. Cricket PNG also committed to an annual cash contribution of 10,000 kina and the Alotau MP Charles Abel also committing 10,000 kina. Tarua said through time, the association will ensure that success is achieved by utilizing all resources and assets to carry out a successful junior competition. And that ends the news tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.